I have seen the same mistakes over and over again in my 35 years as a realtor here in the Middle Tennessee area with people moving to the area. And this makes sense probably anywhere you go. If I were moving to another state, I would probably make the mistake. But it's the number one mistake. I see it every single time, and I'm here to share with you exactly what that is and to help you through it so that you can have a transition to anywhere USA, but especially if you're moving to Nashville, much, much easier. If that's of importance, you need to stick with me. Let's go on in because I think somebody's about to do some roofing next door. Hey, I'm Susan Thetford with Parks Properties, realtor here in the Nashville area and a native Nashvillian, one of the few remaining Nashvillians. And here on the show, we talk about all things about moving to Nashville, different areas. Now, people often don't realize that when you move into Nashville, you may well be in Hendersonville or Mount Juliet or Franklin, Tennessee, and those are counties all surrounding Nashville. And they may be the perfect spot for you that give you easy access into Nashville. That's the kind of information that I want to share with you so that I can help you ease your transition into the area much more fluidly with a lot less hassle and stress. So if that's of interest to you, go ahead, subscribe to the show. Hit the bell because every single week we do a new video and I don't want you to miss out. Today I'm going to share with you the three biggest mistakes that I see people make when they're moving to Nashville. And there's such an order. It's almost like making a recipe. You've really got to do things in the right order so it can be successful. And a move to Middle Tennessee, a move to Nashville can be very, very successful and less stressful if we put things in the right order and understand the market. That's where I come in. Let's go in the kitchen. That's actually where everything happens, right? All the good stuff happens in the kitchen. Let's start at the very beginning. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to be really nice to you. I'm going to do it in the order of importance. So rather than do the 3, 2, 1 kind of situation where you've got to stick to the end, I'm going to tell you the number one issue first because it is truly the most important. Now, I will tell you to stick to the end because I'm going to give you a good idea of the prices of some of the areas that you may well have heard of. I'm going to give you the highest and the home that sold for the most last week and the home that sold for the least last week so that you have up to the minute, this is October 2022, up to the minute information about prices of some of these major areas. So do stick to the end so that you can be in the know with exactly what's going on. The number one, bar none, in my 35 years of selling real estate here in the Nashville area, and especially in the last 2 years, because we've had thousands of people, as much as 100 a day, move into the Middle Tennessee area in the last 2 years. So the number one thing that I've found everybody does is you start on Zillow. You start on Zillow looking for houses, and you start describing the house that you want. The first thing when people call and text me or say, I want to talk to you about moving to the Nashville area, the first thing they want to talk about, and I get it, it's not much more fun. It's what I would want to talk about is the house that they want. 3-car garage, master on the main level. I need an open concept. I want, you know exactly what you want. I know exactly what you want after you've told me, but that doesn't help us at all in starting the whole process. So yes, make your wish list. Have it in order of priority of your must-haves and you want-to-haves. And if there's 2 of you making a decision or 7 of you making a decision, you've got to make sure that those top 5 on that list jibe so that one of you doesn't want 1.5 acres and the other one has to have 1/4 acre but brand new construction. Get that list together. Everyone who was the decision maker needs to be on the same page pretty much with that list of the top 5 things. But when you're first starting to look for a home here in the Nashville, Tennessee area, you're not looking for a home. We're looking for the community. We're looking for the things that you need in a community. And then once we've determined from the hundreds and hundreds of communities that there are to choose from, then we're going to get to that next step. But the number one issue is please do your research on the city, on the crime, on a lot of different things. Do your own research there, but don't get on Zillow and fall in love with a house, because I can promise you it has never, ever happened that house was maybe in a community that somebody wanted or a price point that someone could handle. So save yourself the heartache. Save yourself the heartache. Yeah, that's right. Save yourself the heartache. And also, don't think that your realtor's not listening to you if you start off with that whole long list and they don't send you things that meet all those things on that list. It's not that we're not listening, it's not available. So just stop the frustration and start with something else, and that's not it. Describing the home that you want is the number one problem that most people start with, and it's never going to work out well for you. The second mistake I see everybody making, and unless they've had somebody like me to help walk you through it, is they don't get pre-approved. It does you no good to find a home that you love if it's not in your price point. And making a guess, especially if you got pre-approved, early in the year, early 2022, when we were still at 4%, 3.5% interest rate, we are now at 7% interest rate. So what you could afford a couple months ago is absolutely not what you can afford now, if affordability is of any concern, and who is it not a concern for? So getting pre-approved before you even arrive for the first visit to Nashville to really search for and find your home, getting pre-approved with a trusted lender who is right here in town, who is probably not part of the big nationwide group, and you know who they are. You need a local lender who's working with investors, who has different programs that work possibly better here in the Nashville community than they might work in some other areas, say out in California. We've got to get pre-approved with a local lender who will research and find you the best deals for you as far as what his investors will allow, but also to have a really good relationship such that when we see interest rates have risen or fallen, I, as your realtor, can reach out to them and say, hey, do we need to re-up? Or do we need to recalculate what we can afford now? We're seriously searching. We've honed down the community. We know exactly where we want to be, but we got pre-approved 6 weeks ago. Do we need to relook at that and maybe move it up, maybe move it down a little bit? The other part is you got to know the difference between a pre-approval and a pre-qualification. Pre-qualification really essentially means nothing. It's just a shot in the dark. So again, working with someone to get that pre-approvals, it can be done over the phone, on email, and doing it from the privacy of your home when you know where your records are. You haven't moved. You haven't got them all in boxes. That's such an easy way to do it. Putting the community together when we're doing this research on the communities, plus the knowing the price points that you can afford with today's interest rates is paramount in having a fluid move. Number two issue I've seen everybody have is not getting pre-approved with a local lender. The third biggest mistake that I see people make is not finding yourself a trusted realtor. Whether that's me, whoever that is, find yourself a trusted realtor who's going to tell you like it is, not going to give you fluff, not going to give you the wrong order of things, not just set you up on a search that we all can do without listening to and knowing what price point we need to be in, without understanding exactly what you need in a home, without helping you go through the list of things that you need in a home that are non-negotiables versus negotiables. Finding yourself a trusted realtor, somebody that when they tell you, look guys, this is maybe not the best community for you, and will lead you to the places where you can find some research. You may or may not know that there's a lot of things that we as realtors cannot talk about. Crime, we cannot talk about. Safety, we cannot talk about. Schools, technically, we cannot talk about. But we can lead you to the places that you can find that information. So you've got to trust your realtor enough to know that they know what they're talking about when they tell you something, and that they have no problem with you trying to confirm those things. Finding yourself a trusted liaison. May or may not become a best friend, but will be somebody that tells it like it is to you, the good, the bad, the ugly, the skinny, the yucky, whatever. You've got to have somebody that you really trust in making the biggest purchase of your life. One more thing about this realtor that I really want you to trust and to know that they know what they're talking about. Our market has drastically changed. Someone who's not actively on the market working consistently day to day with buyers, with sellers, may not realize that the sellers are having to do a lot more negotiation, may not realize that you as a buyer have some buying power that you didn't have last year. We've had thousands of realtors drop out of this market because it's very, very different. When you're making the biggest purchase of your life, in most cases, finding somebody who really knows the market, understands the market is really important. So find yourself that really trusted realtor, stick with them, and y'all work together. So as promised, here we're going to get down to the nitty gritty. As I promised you, I'm going to share with you the highs and lows, the most expensive, least expensive home that is sold in some of the major areas that you may or may not have heard of. Davidson County is where Nashville is. Williamson County is where Franklin, Brentwood, Thompson Station, some of the other areas that you may have heard of. In Wilson County is Mount Juliet. You've probably heard of that. And then over in Sumner County is Hendersonville, over by the lake. I'm going to share with you the last week's worth of highs and low prices so that when you tell me I need a 3-car garage and I want a 5-bedroom and I want the master on the main level and I also want to have... No, I don't know. It doesn't matter. When you tell me those things, and I know that you're pre-approved, and the pre-approval amount is for $600, we're going to wipe out Williamson County. You're going to take that off the table. And the good thing about taking things off the table is, as we step by step take things off the table because they don't fit for one reason or another, then it makes your job, my job, a lot easier in finding that perfect house for you. It makes your job so much easier in finding the perfect community and home for you when you're moving to Nashville. So stick around. This is going to be kind of eye-opening. People always want to know what's happening on the market. Well, I can tell you what I feel, but the numbers just don't lie. So let's look at Davidson County of what's happened on the market. 33 new active homes came on the market last week. We're only looking at the last 7 days. It's up to the minute info. 33 new listings came on the market and 30 homes were closed, meaning they got a new buyer, they signed on the dotted line. And so that's a pretty healthy, normal thing. 33 come on, 30 go off. That's a fairly balanced market when you're looking at it as a small microcosm of 7 days. Let's look at the most expensive. Oh, and there are 9 homes coming soon, and 6 of the homes that are currently on the market are under construction. So you actually could not close on them today, even if you wanted to. But let's take a look at, as you see, this is only red ones are what is closed. They actively closed, and this first house that closed for the least amount of money was for $227,500. Now, this is a rental home, 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, 1,000 square feet. I'd show you more pictures, but they don't have any more. And that is purely a rental house. Then let's skip on down to all the ones that have closed so you can see the most expensive home that closed in Nashville, Davidson County, over the last week was this house at 1704 Electric Avenue for $2,250,000. It went under contract the day that it went on the market. You want to see some pictures? This is what you really want to see. Give me pictures. So it is a 5-bedroom, 4-bath, and a half bath, obviously new construction, in an area that's pretty cool, contemporary. Love the black. honed granite, I think is what that is. 3,720 square feet. This is close into downtown. It has a plunge pool and very interesting looking house. So obviously new construction, 3,700 square feet, sold for $2,250,000. That was both within the last 7 days. Now, stick around. I will find for you exactly what happened in the Williamson County area. So this was Davidson County, Nashville. Let's go over to Williamson County next. People always want to know, what is the status of the market? What does it look like? Is it a good time to buy? Is it a good time to sell? Well, I don't have that crystal ball, but I can tell you statistically exactly what has happened. And that's where it's actually really important to know, because you may well hear that prices are going down and you got a great buy. Let's look at exactly what happened. This video is about Williamson County. Williamson County is where the main cities of Brentwood, Franklin, Spring Hill, Thompson Station, Nolensville. Those are the main cities of Franklin. Did I say that? Main cities in Williamson County. Last week in Williamson County, there are 247 homes that came on the market as active or closed. They changed their status. Of that 247 total homes, 147 are active, meaning they are actively on the market for you and me to go take a look at. But some of those are actually, 16 of those are coming soon. You actually can't see it yet. So 21 are under contract or pending, subject to an inspection. So truly, there is 137, about 110 active homes that you and I can go purchase in Williamson County that came on the market last week. How many homes are closed? How many homes did the key transfer happened last week and has a new buyer in Williamson County? And that is 100. So as you see, 100 closed, 110 came on the market. That's a pretty balanced market right in the last week. And we're still at that 7% almost interest rate. But there are buyers and there are sellers. That's proof. I bet you want to know these are the active ones. I'm not going to show you that. You probably want to know what the least expensive home that closed last week was a condominium in Spring Hill, about 1,200 square feet. It stayed on the market approximately 30 days. You want to take a look? This is what it looked like, a 2-story townhome in Spring Hill, and that's the Williamson County side of Spring Hill. Spring Hill is very far south, right at the Maury County, Williamson County line. There you go. Last 7 days, the most expensive home to close. Oh, I got to get my face out of the way. It won't do it. I will learn technique soon. This is the most expensive home that closed October 11th, a week ago. It's in Avalon. 5 bedrooms, 7 full baths, 3 half baths, 11,000 square feet. All the pictures, there you go. You need to see this. Pretty grandiose house. Yeah, pretty grand. So if you happen to have had, well, you've missed out. That's beautiful. Very pretty view. So if you happen to have had a little over $5 million last 2 weeks ago, you could have possibly bought, oh wow, how many? I hope they cook a lot. Gee. I love a warming drawer though. That's the greatest. But if you happen to cook a whole lot, this would be perfect for you, but you've lost your chance. This tells me that at least the last week or so, as things are coming on the market, homes are coming off the market. Seems to me that we are fairly balanced. So ready to get started? Go ahead, download my updated relocation guide. Just finished it not long ago. It's got the median price points of every county around the Nashville SMSA and so much more great information. A little preview of each area as well. So go ahead, download that Relo guide. Let's get started on making Nashville your next best community and favorite place to live. I can promise you, most people never leave here once they get here. That might be you. See you next week.